Hey everyone, it's Chime Time, and this is my show, Cooking Avenue, and today we're going to be discussing how I bought these umes, U-M-E, which are also known as Japanese plums or green Japanese apricots. I bought these with the intention of just eating them because I thought that they were like green apricots, or apricots are normally a food you can just cut in half, pick the pit out and eat, or you can just eat around the pit. Kind of like a plum, really. Fun fact, I think apricot is the most translated word in all dictionaries and all languages. Quote me if you could Google fact check. You do the work, you idiot. So anyway, all that aside, I bought these. You can't eat them. Apparently they're super sour and they're hard as rocks. Some of these have blemishes, which I don't think they're blemishes, they're just pits. And you gotta remove the pits when you are gonna make the solution to my problem, which is, what am I gonna do if I can't eat these? You make it into something else. You know, you look up a recipe, because it's okay to actually buy stuff without knowing what it is and then figuring it out. Now, the only drawback is that you need money to solve your problems. And this one cost me a pretty penny. So like, I'm already $9.43. I'm already $10 in. And I just blew $10. Shoot, I'm out $10. So what do? Throw more money at it. So we went to, let's fold this so you can see my credit card information. We went to Sunrise Mart in Brooklyn, which is part of the Industry City Japanese market. And it's really awesome. Highly recommend there if you can ever go. And we bought American rice vinegar. What are we gonna do with that? Well, turns out that if you also purchase Korisato or rock sugar and this stuff, you can make syrup out of it. You can make plum wine or ume syrup out of it. And what they do in Japan, although we bought this from H Mart, you know, the ume from H Mart, and that's a Korean store. In Japan, they use these ingredients to make them into a syrup that you can, you know, put in a jar, and it'll sit in the jar for like a few weeks or something, and it extracts the sugars out of the plums, right? And the vinegar prevents it from fermenting, so it doesn't turn into alcohol, because, you know, some of us are under 21, or we are just under 21 for eternity because we don't like to drink alcohol. But and then the sugar, I guess, helps also make it sweet, but it takes the sugar out of these guys, or like the juicy sweetness, and you could pour the syrup into a cup of water. So it's 1/5 syrup for every 4/5 of water, and it makes like a cool lemonade, like a Japanese plum lemonade. There's no lemons, but whatever. That's what the drink is. Umade. I just made that up. But it's spelled U-M-E. You'll Google it, you'll figure it out if you do. And that'll be a refreshing drink. Now, this usually comes around season, around January to March, apparently. So people who are familiar with it tend to buy it up when it's available, and then make this syrup with it, so that they, you know, it takes a few weeks, and by then you could be hot and enjoying your drink. I don't know what, I think Japan probably has a similar climate to North America, where I live. Fun fact, I'm on the East Coast, so we also get the rising sun in the mornings, right on the water. It's super beautiful. Although the West Coast, you know, they're about the rising sun, but have you seen the sunsets on the West Coast? Doesn't Japan have two coasts? Like, you could probably see them both in the same day. You could do it in the United States, but you probably need to take a flight to do that. In Japan, you could probably just drive. I think it's that narrow. Probably thicker than New Jersey, but around the same shape. So And then for those of us who are above 21 or are just open to alcohol, I made another expensive mistake. And I went to, let's fold the paperwork, Kuraichi, which is the liquor store that's on 36th Street next to Industry City. If you, instead of going on 3rd Avenue to the Sunrise Mart, Brooklyn, you can go to Kuraichi. And it's a liquor store. They have a whole bunch of rice wines called sake, and they have a bunch of hibiki, and which I'm told is very is getting more difficult to keep in stock because it's very popular Japanese whiskey, and there's a lot of different Japanese whiskeys. They have like a bunch of shelves. So this is shochu, and I think Korean is shoju, and it's like a rice type spirit, which is 25% alcohol by volume, which I think is like a rice wine, but not a sake. There's a difference. I don't know the difference. Otherwise I'd say in this video. But anyway, so you could take the shochu, and this is Kawabe, and I purchased this one because it's less rice flavor. It's more watery, and maybe I'm looking to have a watery type of wine, less rice tasting to it, because maybe that would be more like a sake. I'm not a connoisseur. This was $30. Kawabe Kome Shochu. This is $30. So where am I with my mistake? So we're at 30, 10, another 10. So we're at $40 mistake and $2.49. So we're at $42.49 mistake plus tax because this is New York City. It's like a $45 mistake, maybe even a $50 mistake. I've made a $50 mistake, and I don't even know if I have enough of these to make the wine and the syrup. But in fairness, I watched some videos on how to make it, and of course I'm gonna ballpark it. These gotta soak for like 2 hours in water before you can put it in the jar, and then one layer of these boys, another layer of these rock sugar. I've never seen sugar so big in my life. I can't wait to show Barbara. That's gonna be like insane. And then this vinegar, right? This vinegar, I purchased this particular vinegar because it was sodium free and sugar free. And if I'm gonna be making a syrup with enough sugar as it is, like I'm putting these tremendous, listen to that. Regular sugar doesn't make that noise. It doesn't make any noise because fine grained sugar. Yeah, it's so big you can hear it. So yeah, that's awesome. And whatever. Whatever. But yeah, so it's sodium free, and why would you want like a salty wine? I don't know if wine has salt in it. Do I know anything about wine? No. Do I know anything about making all the stuff that I'm making? No. Do I know why I bought this? Because I wanted to eat it. Like, I think one of the important messages to this video is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take chances. Like, this could have been a $10 mistake but instead I decided to build on it. But like, you know, is losing $10 really bad? Yeah, that's like a whole meal when you're on the road. Like a good cheaper meal, like outside of New York City kind of meal. It could go a long way in other countries besides the United States. But it's fun, and you could turn it around. Do you need to know everything? No, you don't need to know everything. Can you look it up later? Yeah, you can afford to look it up later. Like, don't stress yourself. Don't interrupt the now. Like, immediacy. Immediacy is about taking advantage of an opportunity. Like, maybe Googling it, you could get something right out of the opportunity, but I like to maximize my days. Googling, you could do that later. In fact, I looked up these recipes really quickly before I left the house, right? And I was like, oh no, I wanted to eat this, right? So it was like 4:30, or no, it was like 4:10, and I was like, I want to eat these, and I couldn't, and I was like, uh-oh, or let me Google how to eat them, and I found out you shouldn't actually. Like the search result was like, why you shouldn't eat these. So, and then all the videos were like in Japanese, and where there's like no talking. They just make it. They don't even give instructions. And the videos that were making it, they had thick accents, which, you know, I'm not against. I appreciate it because I appreciate all things Japanese, really. But I appreciate the fact that they're a different person, and I can experience something that I wouldn't without them, you know? So anyway, and I was like, but whatever. I had already left the house at that point, and now I'm Googling videos while walking 10 blocks or 30 blocks, however far. It was pretty far. Googling the solution while walking. You know, if you could do two things at once, that's great. You get more out of your day instead of just sitting there like, you know, I'm in the store, you know, looking it up. No. I eliminated that whole time suck. I was already walking and I was searching. You know, maybe you could search after you purchased it and left the store. But instead, next door. I don't know if they even had this in H Mart. I almost doubt it. So this worked out even better. It couldn't have worked out if I did the other stuff. And then lastly, this isn't too related to the video, but because I went to this store, they had sweet and sour haichu, and they didn't have this in H Mart. They had haichu, but not sweet and sour. And this is for Carly whenever I get to see her, because we did a haichu video, and she loves haichu, and she loves tart. So sweet and sour is right up her alley. She loves fruit snacks, so I guess that's the sweet part, and then the sour part is just kombucha and teas and whatever. But she'll love it, so that's awesome. Always have my friends in mind, and always have fun in mind, because I'm Chime Time, and this is my show, Cooking Avenue. Thanks so much for watching. Live to love, Chime Time.